This does not even deserve a captain's log introduction, because this is dead serious. The inside and outside tour I did a few months ago of my house, everyone heard it. My mother, angry at me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the
13th podcast.
So tonight, we are discussing something disgusting, but yet, I wouldn't say it's fascinating. If you think it's fascinating, brother.
You wrong, brother. You wrong, brother.
So to touch base with a few things that Dalton and I did. Last episode was 2 hours and 43 minutes long.
It was a very long episode.
Very, very long episode, but we want to make a point. For some reason, it didn't get put on Spotify, but I think we accidentally said something. And
what could I have possibly said? I don't know what you're talking about.
So
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So here's the thing. We won't say it. I don't think that.
Say it.
Don't say it. I don't think that was the issue. I think Anyways, so the last episode we did was the Internet of Horror, where we were discussing politics. We were discussing social media, basically getting sucked in, being oblivious of the world. We got a little too deep and we just kept talking, and that usually happens, and that's okay. So I thought about just really doing the episode, but if you really want to watch it, it's on YouTube, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. It's on every other platform but Spotify. I don't know why, but it's just not on there. Anyways, so today, this episode is brought to you by...
Am I supposed to interject here?
Oh, yeah, sorry. My fault.
Oh, my bad.
My fault.
Yeah. I did the research for this episode. So I'm gonna preface this. I tried to go to the website where all of this stuff was logged, and I guess it got taken down. Post all of this stuff, which we'll get into. So I had to go through a YouTube video by a guy named Turkey Tom. I'm gonna, just get that out there. He has the video up on YouTube. He will probably present it better than I do, just because he has visual representation and all that shit. I don't want to go through the screenshots, dog. I'm gonna be fully honest.
I don't want that.
Just hearing some of this shit, dude. Like I was getting grossed out and I wanted to throw up. So fully transparent. A lot of these notes are taken from that, not like word for word. I don't want to put that out there. I was listening. I would stop the video, write some bullet points down on different stuff that I wanted to touch on and all this kind of stuff. But full credit to Tom for putting himself through that as well.
Thank you, Tom. Well, I mean,
yeah.
No, thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Whichever way you want to look at it. He has a lot of videos like that where he kind of does. He doesn't do the horrors of the internet kind of thing. He just he finds video or people on the internet to make documentaries about. I think his most recent video is about Shoe Nice.
Hey, wasn't he the one that exposed Sketch?
I don't know, actually. Maybe.
Damn. I did not have sexual relationships with that man. Yes, I did. Just
Yes,
kidding.
I did. But God, he took that shit with grace, dude.
Dude,
But yeah, so
the best. What was that? The aftermath video, dude. The best fucking
like
video.
best response, you
Yeah,
know?
best response. Like, dude, yeah, dude. I put that in my mouth.
Yeah, he spread hole for the internet, dude. Like, but you know, he took it with stride in both ways. Uh,
Well, let's continue on with the story.
yeah. So, this episode is going to be about this person on the internet called. It's such a cringe ass name. The Giggling Goon Clown. Now, Arthur, do you know what the act of gooning is? Timeout? Are we calling for a timeout?
What the fuck did you say? What his name?
The Giggling Goon Clown.
The giggling goon
Goon
clown.
Clown. Yes. This was their Twitter handle.
All right, continue.
Now, do you know what gooning is in this sense?
Do I know what gooning is?
Yes.
I do not.
Okay, so probably should put up like a viewer's discretion is advised here. I'm just gonna say it right now. We are going to be talking about sexual depravity, pedophilia, bestiality. This one's a rough one.
Oh shit, dude, you froze.
My internet died for a second.
Dude, look at your face. Oh, dude, as soon as you said pedophilia, you're like, well, you can't see my face, but all right, yeah, guys.
Yeah, pedophilia, bestiality, um, even there's no actual sexual assault, but there's this person in conversations fantasizing about assaulting people. Um,
So this is a human being. This is a person. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy's over here.
One in there, right in and out. What the flip? What the hell? This guy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you frozen over there? Welcome back.
My internet keeps cutting out. Hopefully that's the end of it.
I was arguing with you. But this is a raw show, so we're going to continue to do what we're doing.
Yes, sir. So, where did I get cut off at? Because I want to stress this.
I said so. This is a human being.
Yes. Yes.
Is this human? Does this, instead of the giggling goon clown, what's his real name?
I believe in the. I have it written down, but I don't know if I heard it correctly. It is Orion Grant Passmore.
Orion Grant Passmore. Okay, so you're gonna have to send me that name so we can make that.
I'm just gonna.
Orion Grant Passmore.
I'm just going to call them Orion.
Them?
Without saying the full. Them person. I don't fucking know.
Did they have pronouns?
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So
okay. Oh god.
Before I was cut off, I just want to preface this is not a fun topic. This is a very rough listen. If you are sensitive to something like this, I fully get it. This shit's gross. And if you can't handle it, don't listen to it. Don't put yourself in the space, when you're not gonna.
I'm honestly kind of like worried of how.
Yeah, like I told you, man. I called Arthur before recording this around like 3 p.m. and I said, "Hey, dude, I'm doing the research for it. I'm writing everything down right now. Are you sure this is the episode we want to go forward with?" and I gave him a rundown from just without telling him anything too specific about what we're going to be going over, and he says, "Yes, we just got to do it with grace," you know. So I will preface this. I laugh a lot about weird shit, not because I find it funny, but because I get uncomfortable and I laugh. I believe Arthur's the same way. So if I ever start laughing, it's not because I find it funny. It's because I'm very uncomfortable and I don't know how to manage that besides laughing.
And guys, this is... I'm going to get this out of the way. The elephant's probably in the room. Why am I wearing a ghost face mask? I don't know. I think it was the right time in the right place. And this is not a ghost face mask. This is a doofy mask. Let's get that straight, but it's basically ghost face. So, I think it's best for me to hide my face. I think it's hilarious. And then sometimes if I feel really uncomfortable,
I will tell you a story. That was the darkest and scariest story.
So let's. This is an opinion-based podcast. The stuff that we're going to talk about, us two, want nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just content and getting the word out there of how scary the internet is and what it can do to other people's lives. The internet is not only a device, but it is a black hole. You get sucked in, and this man over here is showing me his black hole.
Oh shit! You ready to dive into this, man? I feel like we're stalling because like we're both very uncomfortable.
Dude, I'm in shock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just jump into it. So
Shit.
Orion is. How do I even start with this, dude? So I guess just general background. Orion was a Twitter personality. Oh wait, I never explained to you what gooning was. My bad. Let's get back to that. So gooning is the act of jerking off and edging yourself continuously until apparently you become feral, or like a feral mental state, and then once you bust, it's like the most euphoric thing ever. That's the act of gooning. But now gooning is generally along the sides of just like deviance. Like if so, like say
like Goon Squad.
Yeah, like unfortunate for Looney Tunes.
Don't ruin it for me, dude.
But like it's essentially associated with like depravity and like all that kind of shit, where you're sitting there and it's like you're talking to somebody like, oh yeah, I jerk off to fucking furry porn. You're like, oh, you're a gooner, shit like that.
Okay.
That's what that is associated with now.
Okay.
Or just like porn addicts, essentially. So they started their Twitter page, and they quickly gained a following under the Giggling Goon Clown persona. They claim to be any pronouns. So blah blah, he, she, they, them, it, whatever. Whatever you want to identify as, I don't give a fuck. But we'll get deeper into that later, because there's actually a tactic being used here.
What do you mean a tactic?
A tactic as in, so you know how a lot of people, well, I don't want to say a lot of people because this is a very big generalization. I joke about it a lot of like when somebody says something like slightly rude to me, I'm like, oh, it's because I'm white or something like, or it's because I'm fat. There are some people who use their identification as a shield. There is a political streamer / content creator named Keffels who does this quite a bit. When anybody has any sort of criticism towards her, she then spins back and says they're just transphobic. So when all this shit came out, they used this whole, any pronouns trans, stuff as a shield of like, you guys are just lying because I'm gay and I'm trans, rather than I'm actually a horrible fucking human being. Now, I don't think a lot of people do that. I think people who want to do horrible things or do horrible things use that as a shield to avoid any criticism. It's unfortunate that there are people who do this, put such a bad name on other people who don't, and they just want to be, a person. But it still happens and it sucks. It's the same thing with, people saying, I don't want to get political. My bad. That I'm gonna stop myself.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Generalization is bad. That's the point I'm trying to get across.
Just genderizing anybody's bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like generalization is just bad in general, except people individually do not blanket statement them. That's the point I'm trying to get at. But they were doing all this shit that we'll get into. But in their Twitter bio, I figured I'd throw this in here because I think you would find it funny and interesting. This is probably the funniest thing about this whole situation. They were a self-proclaimed member of the BNWO, or the Black New World Order. Do you want to guess what that entails?
You don't want me to say what I want to say?
Okay. I'll just take it over then. It's cool. So it entails the group or the ideation of wanting to apparently bring on the extinction of white people, whether that's sleeping with enough white people to where no more white people exist, past a generation, killing them, so on and so forth. Do I think most people agree with that? Probably not. But do I think there's people who are unhinged enough to believe that? Absolutely. I.e., this person.
It's just like a sign of manipulation and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what which is, we'll do this on a later episode. Like a really huge manipulator is Jim Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Manipulation.
Yes, sir. So as we go on, they start building this persona up of, all this shit. They start posting pictures of themselves online and videos, and I'm sure you can guess what kind. The name doesn't hold anything subtle about it. Let's just say that. So they proclaim to be into literally any fetish you can think of, literally every fucking thing. They had a self-proclaimed humiliation kink. So if it embarrassed them, and if anybody found out about it and it embarrassed them, it didn't matter because they were getting off to it. It was that simple. Yeah, it's that kind of bad to where it's like, holy shit, this guy's kind of just like impenetrable because no matter what happens, he's horny.
Dude, that's how with like the whole backstory with like Michael Jackson and stuff. How Michael Jackson, dude, this destroyed me. But this was a documentary called Neverland or something stupid. But it basically, and you know how like Michael was like really big into like helping children and stuff and giving them the fantasy childland. Well, there's conspiracies, and there was a whole documentary about it where he manipulated these children to fall in love with him.
Yep.
Not like a father, but like a partner. And the whole documentary is just, it's so dark and evil. And do I think that's what happened? In a way, I do, because in this world or this internet, in this world, you can't really, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't want to know, because then it's just like, as a father, there's just anger. It's really,
Shit's
really,
scary, dude.
really scary.
Yeah.
No, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, like
And
I don't
it's
have
sad. It's so sad to
like
do
I don't
that to
have
children.
children, like I don't have kids. I have a little brother that like I'm super like he's 19 now and I'm still super protective of him. It's like my older brother with me. He's that way with both of us, dude. Um and it's like if anything like that would have happened to my little brother, like dog, I'd probably be in jail. Like it's just that simple.
It's like, man, dude, it's so sad to, God, I can't even think of it, man, because it's like, bro,
It's horrible, dude. It's absolutely awful.
just thinking
Uh
about it, it just pisses me off so bad.
yeah.
You can continue. Sorry.
So they were an open lolicon and would defense it if people denounced it. I asked you about this earlier during the phone call if you knew what that meant. Um, so lolicon is a thing with anime, or just drawings in general
Oh, God.
of children.
Oh.
So a lot of people in the anime sphere, unfortunately, uh, I won't say majority because I hope it's not majority. Do not care whether they're drawn like a child or not. A lot of people will see a character who's drawn like a child, but in the anime or manga or whatever, they're like thousands of years old. So in their mind, they're like, oh, it's fine. So what? They're dressed like a child and look like a kid. They're 1,000 years old, so it's legal, right? And it's like, no, like no, like dude, you're not attracted to how old they are. You're attracted to what they look like. So let's just so they would people would be like, this shit's fucking cringe. Lolicon is pedophilia. And they would be like, no, they're just drawings. They're just drawings. And it's like this may be an unhinged take for me, right? Um in my brain, I always try to rationalize things out to the best of my ability and try to make the best of anything. Uh so if people disagree with this, I fully understand. I would much rather people use that content of drawings rather than the real stuff. That's unhinged. That's an unhinged take. I'm willing to admit that. I would rather have it be fake than it be real.
Yeah,
That's my biggest standpoint.
I mean,
Do I want it to be a thing?
no. Oh, no.
No, obviously not. But like,
I
would
get
I
that.
rather? Yeah,
I get
but would
that.
I rather it be fake than an actual child suffering? No. Like, or yes, wait, fuck, fuck. Yeah, I would rather it be a drawing. That's the fact.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
But still, it's fucking weird. It's weird as shit. I don't like it. But they would openly, like, just be like, yeah, I'm one of those, dude. I jerk off to drawings of children.
Oh, God, dude. Dude, yeah. Oh, my Lord.
So, yeah, and then that shit's, dude, it's insane.
And what's that called?
Lolicon.
There's
also so lolicon is specifically to little girls. There's another term for little boys, which is shotacon.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think
So,
I think the person that ever created that, let's all meet up in Cincinnati, Ohio.
what's crazy, right?
Find a
do you know what
motherfucker.
Studio Ghibli is?
Ghibli?
Yeah, Ghibli, whatever you want to pronounce it as.
No.
Have you ever seen like My Neighbor Totoro?
No.
Or okay, so they're an animation studio in Japan.
Okay.
They're like world renowned. I think they were the first ever animation company before or like after Snow White was made to win an Oscar for movie of the year. With Spirited Away. But I think it was before Spirited Away, they made a movie called Kiki's Delivery Service, which is about a little girl who just goes around and delivers packages. That's all it is. And when that movie came out, the creator, Hayao Miyazaki, started seeing, once the internet rolled around, started seeing people drawing her in sexual manners. And to this day, that man has said anime is a mistake because
Yeah.
of that. Like, he is so ashamed that that is a thing that he would rather completely obliterate the whole art media that he has built, like, been a huge pillar a part of, than have that exist. You know,
Oh.
like it's that insane. Uh, but on, I think it was August 22nd, 2023 or 2024. I didn't get I should have wrote down dates. This website called soyjack.party, that I believe is no longer a thing anymore, um, leaked a fuck ton of shit that had to do with this guy. Sorry, I know you said don't say
Oh,
too
dude,
many F words.
yeah, you're
Uh,
good.
but they leaked a whole bunch of shit. Uh, and this is where everything started falling apart. All of it came out. Uh, so let's see, where are we in the notes? Okay. So allegedly they were able to find him under another username before this whole giggling goon clown shit. Uh and this is where they were able to find their name and where they come from, essentially. Uh they blame their sexual depravity on growing up and with a single mom not getting any attention from her, really paid very little attention to him, so he had complete unregulated access to the internet, and that's where he lived, and
Oh
that's where
God.
it all started.
I
So
I got a strong feeling where we're about to go.
mhm,
I'll keep my cool as much as I can.
mhm.
But
So
but pedophilia, dude, do not. It's so hard to talk about.
listen, I will say this uh as simple as possible. If you are a person who has those thoughts, seek help. Like, I will respect somebody much more if they seek help for that shit.
Or or have an address. I'm a haunter.
You know?
Just turn off the lights and
Okay.
just let me have fun.
If it's got to be done, it's got to be done.
Oh, dude,
If you,
there is a special place for people like that.
Mhm.
All I gotta say, you think it, you do it, or
it's
anything.
it's kind of crazy. So there was a study done, right, about pedophiles and like offenders. You know, it turns out, and I think we've talked about this before, or maybe I was talking with Kenny about it, which is my brother. Um, it turns out a lot of people who are actually like attracted to children never offend because they understand it's wrong and they don't want to do that, but they can't help themselves. It turns out a lot of people who offend are more attracted to the power of that situation rather than the child,
Yeah.
which is really interesting, where you can see that, like, yes, these people are, fucked up in the brain, but they can rationalize that this is wrong and they will never do it. Compared to people who crave power in a situation and they will do it by any means. I don't know why that is, but I find it really interesting.
I heard a story, and I want to let's put this in perspective. I don't know who I heard this from, but I heard this story. There's a person, you're working in a nursing home, you're an STNA, you're taking care of all these older folks. These are people, these are like living, like, this is like living history walking among us. They have seen this world go from dirt to fucking empires. When I say empires, I'm talking about skyscrapers, buildings, massive objects that they've never seen before. And then you meet a person that's late 80s, early 90s, basically dying. You sit next to that person, man or female, and usually, dude, a lot of the times, they're gonna say what they want to say one last time. They're gonna say it
for sure.
And I don't know who. I don't know who told me this. They said that you're the STNA. This old man looks at you and says, "I sexually assaulted my grandchildren, and it doesn't bother me. Do you still like me?"
Oh, not at all.
Hell no.
No,
Hell,
there's not a single chance.
Hell no. Dude, oh my god. Dude, it's just one of those things, dude, that is like, that sets me off, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit. And I think, dude, I wouldn't control myself if I found that out.
Oh no, dude. There's a limit to things. Like, you work with me. None of these people who listen to this know me. You know, I'm a pretty like laid back person.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. You know, like, that's not an option.
Ugh.
Like, I can be cool with a lot of people. I can be like, majority of the time, I don't care about your political stance or your views on things. You know, as long as you're respectful to people, I don't give a shit. That is just something that's not a negotiable. That's not even like, as soon as those words leave your mouth, like, no.
You got 5 seconds to turn around and fucking bounce, dude.
Yeah.
Like, as that is probably as nice as I could be. I'm gonna get off subject and then we can jump right into it. I worked at a job one time with my buddy, and I was there for 3 hours. 3 hours. Really shitty place to work. Anyways, I was sleeping, doing my thing, and one of the guys said, "Hey, he's a pedophile." Okay, cool. Must stay away from him. But then my boss was like, "Hey, you're gonna be working with him." No, I'm not. No, see, deuces. I literally, I'm done. I wasn't even there that long. I was with my buddy. Who was working there? I forget. His name was Rex. Rex was working there, and he got me a job. And then my buddy David was working there. And when I found that out, dude, I'm like, cool. I'm not doing that. I'm not even gonna be in the same building as that. Sorry.
It's just not something that, you know, I'm willing to, like, it's not something I can look past, you know?
No.
Like, just sexual assault in general, I don't think is something I can look past, let alone it being a child, you know? But diving deeper into this, he also claimed that the babysitter that he was being watched by also assaulted him, which he now views as like introducing him to all this shit, which is insane. But so after that, he quickly became like an online person, becoming addicted, and then becoming a personality on the internet and becoming addicted to the attention that brought, which in turn encouraged his lifestyle. So he also claimed to. Now, I know me and you have kind of talked about it. I don't know your full views on the trans stuff. Me personally, I don't care. If you want to be whatever you want to be, man, woman, whatever, do your thing. You know, I don't care. Please just do it when you're an adult. You know, that's my big part. Because I know kids can feel that at a young age, but also there can be phases, and you don't want to jump into a decision way too fast that you can't take back. So if you wait until you're an adult, cool. Like if you want to go to your parents, blah blah blah, talk to them about it, do that. Um, but that's my stance. I don't care. Just wait until you're an adult.
Yeah, as
Uh,
long as it's not like don't. My argument is don't force it on somebody, especially if they've never really grew up with it. And
yeah,
I'm talking about mainly like pronoun stuff. It's so hard for me to comprehend pronouns because when you grow up not hearing that at all, and then it's just thrown at you, and it's like, I mean, I respect you for coming at me and saying that, but I just can't do that. That's just what I believe
yeah,
in. And I don't mean no like disrespect whatsoever. It's just what I believe in. It's just how I was raised, and I look at it as like I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'll do my best to
yeah,
correct myself, but don't take offense if I call you, she or he or they or them. I don't mean any harm about it. I don't care.
yeah,
I don't care what you are. I don't care if one day you have a vagina, the next day you have a penis. I mean, cool. Oh well. Don't force it on people. That's
yeah,
the unfair thing about a lot of people just showing their identity and stuff. Like I get it. You're feeling free. You've been locked up for so long. I get it. But don't force it. Please God, don't force it because then people will start getting offensive and then they'll start throwing up all these just terrible things about this. I mean, it goes with like the political parties, dude. They're Jesus Christ. It's bad.
yeah.
It's so bad. It's either you're I just it's so bad. You can't even live in this world without, which is honestly coincidental. You got a blue screen, I got a red screen. It just makes sense. I don't know why it's like that, but it's just like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
But he also claimed to convince 6 to 7 people to transition without going the proper route of going to a psychiatrist and getting diagnosed, and providing a map to clinics that provide HRT without proof of evaluation,
forcing
which
in a way, right?
coercing, yeah, manipulating,
Oh God. I know.
which which is gross. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's gross as fuck. I think it's also insane that there are clinics that say, "Hey, you don't need any proof of going to a psychiatrist. You can just get this shit."
Dude. I'm gonna say it flat out, and people can take offensive because hate is great. That's all. That's as great as I can say it. Hate is great. There are parents out there that do that to their children,
Yeah,
and it's crazy to me to see that. It is crazy to me. Again, this is an opinion based podcast, and I'm not trying to offend anything. So this is like just my perspective. I think it's crazy that you force all this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. I kind of genderize my kids because like, to me, you're a boy. You're a boy. You have the
yeah,
boy parts. You have a girl part. You're a girl. That's just how I am. When you're older, like you said, go off and do what you want. But when you're in my house, you're a boy. You're a girl. Simple as that. I'm not going to judge you on what you want to be. But when it's just like, dude, don't do that. And like, I mean, don't. Oh man. Oh my lord. Continue. Continue.
uh, so insane. Convincing people to do that is baffling. The amount of manipulation that takes is scary. Um, like I think I talked with you about this a little bit. There was this website called 4chan.
Mhm.
It still exists. It's still around. But there is a website called 4chan, and there was this board that I think it was like I Am Robot or something like that. And it was a board for a whole bunch of people who are just like neats, shut-ins. Like they don't conversate with people. They don't talk to people. They have no social life. They don't get girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever. And this person just stepped in and was like, guys, simple solution, become girlfriend. And it's like all these people who are desperate for attention and are so lonely that they're willing to try anything to like get love from somebody. People fell for it. They were desperate. They wanted to feel accepted and loved. And it's sad. Like, it's genuinely sad, dude, that these people are so desperate to have somebody say, hey, I care about you, that they're willing to go as far as to transition, whether they're comfortable with it or not, just to get love. And that's so depressing to hear
Oh,
about. And it's like, and this dude did the same thing. Like, I don't know any of the people who he just claimed he did it. I don't know how true it was, but I'd imagine these people who were being able to be convinced were incredibly lonely or sexually depraved and needed help,
or
you
just
know?
completely lost, you know?
Or just completely lost and just finding something to latch on to.
Just not
Uh,
even. Oh man, dude. Oh
it's
god.
sad, man. Like, it makes me genuinely sad when people take advantage of people like that. Because, like, I've explained how I am to you. I don't mind being alone. I don't care about being isolated. I am the most comfortable I will be when I'm alone in my room, listening to music, playing video games. Like, it's great for me. But some people don't get that.
Yeah.
Like, some people aren't comfortable with that, and it's depressing, man. Like, it's sad that there are people out there who crave like that affection and are willing to go those lengths because they're so desperate. Uh, but that's probably the saddest part for me about all this is the victims that happened. Uh, so this one's after that. This is going to take a sharp turn. I'm going to be completely honest. We just went from a very sentimental, I guess, whatever you want to call it, thing to he highly encouraged bestiality. Um,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I didn't know. I don't know a way to trans. This is. I don't know a way to transition into that, man. I, like people. What am I supposed to say? People are so sad that they fuck their dog.
Oh my god.
How am I supposed to naturally transition to that? This is such a left turn, man. Like,
Dude, that's not even a left turn. You jumped the fucking bridge.
we're in a canyon right now.
Oh my god.
We're in a canyon.
Okay, continue.
So, highly encourage bestiality by sending people material and showing them how to get more. Like I said, this person said that they were into any
More?
kink more. There are websites
Oh,
that are
well,
dedicated to this shit.
don't say
There
it.
are
Don't say
there
it.
are websites dedicated to it. We all know the infamous video, Mr. Hands, an entire sex ring based around assaulting horses.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, what else do you want to describe it as? Like, I mean, it is a creature cannot consent whether it's getting its rocks off or not. Like, um, you know, now I will preface. I put in a couple quotes in here because they're pretty bad. There's a few quotes in here that
Quote.
I
There's quotes
yes, there's quotes.
of what these
Um,
people have said.
yes.
Oh my lord.
I I cherry picked ones that I thought were the most tolerable.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and they're still pretty bad.
If they're real bad, use like abbreviations or like, you know, when we talk about shishmortions,
Yeah.
like stuff like that.
So
If it's easy like that.
how do I
Smell you.
So I guess the best way to put it is, you know, he said, you know, assault the dog to you know, the video people will understand what I just did. To dance around, assault the dog to the underground.
Assault the dog to the underground until it's
Yeah. And that it's let me it's not real assault, dog assault, if it doesn't make some noise. I told you, I tried to warn you, man. I'm sorry. I tried. I tried to tell you. I tried. It's gonna get worse. I'm just gonna. It gets worse.
it's worse.
Dude, I don't know how it's possible. It gets worse.
How does it get worse? How does it get any worse than that for fucking a dog until it's dead?
Perhaps sending lolicon to a 13-year-old.
Oh my god.
And then the boy responds with, "I shouldn't, my little sis is 9." And then Orion, however the fuck you want to pronounce it, responds with, "And unless you're thinking about your little sis while looking at it, it's no big deal."
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
I think this episode's going to be filled with some pretty awkward silences at certain points.
Oh, you're fucking telling me, bud.
Yeah, it's like, if you're still here listening,
bad for you. Shame
I
on you.
tried to warn you, man.
Shame on you.
I tried to warn you. This is like at this point, this is the part that I started like gagging, dude. Like I was feeling so physically sick hearing all this. I was like, I almost tapped out for like an hour and tried to like reboot myself, but I was like, I gotta get this finished. So along with that, you know, introducing something like that to a 13-year-old, they also encouraged EPI, which is early porn introduction, which is a tactic used by groomers to manipulate young children into becoming sexual earlier in their life before. I don't want to say proper steps because I don't know what that would even mean, but like I don't.
So basically, like teaching children to be sexually active,
Kind of, yeah. So like it would be like,
or just learning how to be aroused.
Kind of. So it would be more of like, say, which this is honestly going to transition into the next thing, because he did this. A groomer or a predator will go on the internet and go to something like Roblox, which is filled with children. Yeah, like this is like, it's very predatory. Like it's Roblox.
My kids play Roblox.
I know, dude. That's the terrifying part. Like, people who actively want to seek out children will use stuff like this, stuff like Club Penguin when it was around, Roblox, Shit, even Xbox Live, when you're playing games or online games in general, groomers will seek out children and, you know, they'll befriend them and be like, "Hey, look at this picture. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel funny?" And then it'll escalate more and more until the worst case scenario happens. Uh it's dude, it's a scary fucking world out there. Like it's like the physical this is why I came to you about this season. The physical world is the safest it's ever been, while the digital world is running rampant.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no real way to control it. Everybody has access to everything. Uh and it's the mask is coming off.
I'm getting itchy. Plus, I'm about to be doing like a 3-hour stream, so
Might want to take it off early. That way you can actually feel some shit. So they would, and like you said, your kids play Roblox, and like, God forbid it ever happens to them, but this is stuff that could. And some parents just don't give a shit. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm sure you give a shit.
well, dude, honestly, like we just recently stopped him from he knows he's not allowed on Roblox, but we only do it because of the scary games. He's not allowed on YouTube because we're going back into the manipulation thing. A lot of the videos on YouTube, remember when Momo came out?
Yes.
Okay, so that was like teaching kids to go like murder their parents and stuff. Like, hey, like it's okay, go grab a knife, cut here. And it's like, how can you sit here while making a video like this and just think it's funny, or you're physically doing what it's sounding like it's wanting to do?
Yeah.
So like, do I put a stop to it? Well, she did too. Like we said, fuck this. We cannot have you watch YouTube no more. Dude, they would even do it during like normal videos. Like you'll be watching like marble tracks and stuff. And I seen one before, and dude, and it was weird as fuck. I was watching one with him. We were doing our thing, and then the screen went black, and it popped up like Momo, and then it was like a dude with like a ripped face with like no like lips or anything, and it was just like chatting back and forth, saying like, "Go grab the knife, go do that." And we're like, "Oh, what the fuck, dude?"
That's fucking weird.
And it just like went back to the video, and like, dude, this is not right, man.
So like, it's like I watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm kind of like, at least when I was younger, I was in the sphere of what was going on. I would keep up with analytical stuff, how the website's doing, whether ads are doing well or not. I don't know why. As a kid, it was just something that was like really interesting to me. Are the numbers doing good? Are they doing what they're supposed to? And then there was a time, I think it was like 2016 to 2018, somewhere in there, this dude named Matt Watson, not associated with the Super Mega YouTube channel, different Matt Watson. I doubt anybody knows that, but for the one person who might know what I'm referring to, thank you. But this guy, Matt Watson, exposed that there was this weird part of YouTube where these pedophiles would go to these kids' channels. And it was just like these little girls and boys just making funny video, or what they thought was funny videos. And, as a kid, you're not really thinking about, what you're doing on camera, right? As an adult and being in the internet sphere, and like being a personality, you come to learn, if you're wanting to keep yourself you're going to be sexualized no matter what, but to make sure these people don't have content, to say the least, you don't bend over a certain way in front of camera. You don't do this certain position. You avoid doing stuff like that. Kids don't know that.
Mm-mm.
And there was this circle of pedophiles who would go to these videos, and these kids would, bend over in front of camera to where it's just their butt, uh, towards the camera, and there would be pedophiles time stamping it for other pedophiles to go there, click on it, and do whatever they want. And I don't think it's necessarily the parents' fault for this, but this is stuff that you have to consider as a parent now. And it's terrifying. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to have kids. It's scary to me. Like the internet, like if I have kids, I don't think I'm going to let them have a phone until they're 15. Or I don't think I'm going to allow them to have unmonitored internet access until like 13.
Shit, or
Because
18.
Or 18, dude. And it's not because I want to helicopter them. It's because I want to make sure this doesn't happen. It's terrifying. And I feel so sorry for every single parent in modern day who, not that they ignore it, but they just don't realize how
I don't see it.
they don't see it. It's not something that it's like when back in the day, like when you were a kid or when my parents were kids, there were pedophiles on the internet for sure, but like they didn't have this much access.
It is so bad, and it's like my number one stress as a father, especially when I go into stores, my kids are on my fucking 6. 100%. He just lets them go. I'm like, how you can't do that. It takes them like a second to snatch and run.
Mm-hmm.
These kids
Kenny, when he was younger, almost got abducted. It was at Goldman Park. I just doxed myself. Whoopsie. Local park, unnamed. I already said it. It doesn't matter. But Goldman Park. He was like 6 or something, and my parents, I forget what they were doing, but he was only out of their hair for maybe 3 minutes on the playground, and some dude came up and was like, "Hey, let's go." And Kenny, he doesn't know any better. Kenny had braces on when he was a kid. His legs were bowed. So if that dude wanted to snatch him up, there wasn't much Kenny could do. But luckily, Kenny's a little heftier of a child, so probably couldn't pick him up that fast. But Kenny started walking with him. And luckily, my parents seen it and was able to come up and like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get away from my kid."
Yeah.
And then the dude just like let him go and scurried off. But like nowadays it's as simple as this. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as sending a message. Three letters. Hey, you're in. Kids don't know no better. That's horrifying. So, he used Roblox. That was the main one example provided. He would sexualize his own nieces and nephews to other people who was in his circle who did the same shit. Where he would even send pictures of his own niece to a person who went by Pink on Discord, saying he needs her to get a phone and take irresponsible pictures for attention, and bragging about watching them for hours at the pool. While there's no proof of him physically abusing them, this is still fucked up. I couldn't imagine someone, let alone my own family member, doing this. Like, if one of my brothers did this, I don't know how I would ever recover from finding something like this out. Because not only do I lose my brother, who I love dearly and would do almost anything for, now I have to fucking worry about, well, if my family member is like this, how do I not know that some random stranger who could be the kindest person in the world doesn't try this?
Oh god. Oh god, dude. Fuck.
Proceeded after that to give his nephew a tablet for his birthday. Because his parents wouldn't get him a phone at 13 years old to hopefully induce EPI, early porn introduction. And in the text, because I remember this quote, he says, "I want to fuck up his brain."
So he knows what he's doing.
He knows.
He
This entire
and
this
he
entire it's not like
wants. Oh my
it's not like
lord, dude.
it's not like he doesn't understand. It's literally he knows what he's doing. He brags about it. Like this, do you understand why I called you and was like, this is bad? Like I don't
Yeah, it's bad, dude.
like this is why I came to you and was like, I don't know if this should be like the one we rip right off to.
It is what it is, brother.
You know, I think this will probably be the worst one.
Out of all of them?
Out of all of them, I'm gonna be fully honest. I think this one's worse than what the finale for the season's gonna be.
The finale is gonna be great.
Strictly because that person necessarily, I don't think the person in the finale we're gonna discuss had a grasp on reality, like at all. This person does. This person is evil. I don't normally use that to describe anybody besides like Hitler. But like this person's genuinely just evil. They know what they're doing. They know it's bad. And they continue to do it. And they're doing it to people they care about. And if you actually cared about them, you wouldn't be doing it to them.
Nope.
That's the messed up part.
That is the thing, dude. The lovely saying, kill your local pedophile.
Yeah.
And again, they have a very special place in hell for them.
Mm-hmm. So we have a dude at work who talked about this app. I'm not sure if you remember it. He used Telegram, which is a service that provides encrypted messaging back and forth. Meaning that it's very hard if the police ever wanted to get a hold of it or something like that, they would have to go into the person's phone. So they'd have to get a subpoena and all that kind of stuff to be able to research through. And if they're ever deleted, they're not there anymore. So a lot of drug dealers use it and a lot of pedophiles to send photos back and forth to each other, which is what he did. He would send it between like 3 other people, Pink being one of them. There was this other guy named, I think it was Stoner Pig or something like that, who was a part of it. And yeah, dude, it was just bad. He then, now I don't know, I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't know if I'm telling this in chronological order. Like all this stuff could be months apart. These are just events that happened. He coerced an autistic man into transitioning. Now, I will say this, I don't know how far on the spectrum he was, but from what was described, he still lived with his father. He wasn't independent. He did have a girlfriend, but during this time, he was able to coerce him into transitioning, break up with his girlfriend, manipulate him into partaking in certain content, which I'm sure you can connect what kind.
Yep.
starting in OnlyFans, which Orion was the manager of. And then when he tried to step back, the man with autism tried to step back and say, "Hey, I'm not like I don't." He's like, "I like it, but I don't like it." You know, like he's like, "It feels good while I'm doing, but I feel absolutely horrible
Yeah.
afterwards." Um, and to combat that, as he was trying to step away from it and say, "I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore," Orion proceeded to encourage other people to send the autistic man messages of more graphic stuff while he was uh, going through his sessions, to say the least.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Uh,
I know it's still gonna be a little bit hard since I'm not gonna be here. But just keep
so,
talking. Dude's a piece of shit. Dude's a piece of shit.
so I I have very mixed feelings on this guy, the autistic guy. Not Orion. This person is actually like a vile human being. Um, he was an adult. He wasn't a kid. He should know better, right? But I also don't know how far on the spectrum he was, and I don't know how easy it is to get manipulated like that when you are on the spectrum. Um, so I feel bad for him, but also at the same time, you should know better, right? Uh, being coerced into something like that, and then attempting to pull away when you tell yourself, like, "Hey, this is bad. I shouldn't do it," and then somebody turns around. It's like if you're addicted to heroin, right? And then you tell your friends like, "Oh, I'm gonna get clean," and say you're clean for like 3 days, and they know that you're kind of wanting it, but you're really determined to stop. But then they show up with a needle anyways, and you're falling right back into the same pit. It's it's hard. Like I don't know what the
So,
proper standpoint on that
Dalton,
is. What's
how
up?
does it feel? Talk about that alone.
Um,
Sorry, I had to get me a giant
I
pint
don't
of
know.
beer.
I don't know how to put it into words.
I'm
It's
just
like
kidding. I'm just kidding.
no, you're good. Like I was trying
Shout
to
out to Guinness.
uh I was trying to like put it into words because like while I feel bad for this guy, right? Um, not Orion, uh, the autistic guy,
The autistic man. Yeah.
because I don't know how far along the spectrum he was, and I don't know how easy it was to get him to break and manipulate him like that. But if he's saying, "I'm done, I don't want to do it no more," and then you turn around and say, "Go send CP to this guy more and more, so he doesn't and he just enjoys it," is insanely fucked up. He even This is gonna sound weird to put it this way, but the autistic guy had morals about it, where he didn't want to go below a certain age because he felt that was too far, and that's where he drew the line. And then Orion proceeded to say, "Well, it's only a couple years. What's the difference?" And now, while I still think it's a weird way to put it, of he had morals about it, um, he kind of did. I don't know how ethical that is, but I guess being able to draw the line somewhere is better than not being able to draw the line at all. Maybe that's just me trying to rationalize it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm just like,
it's it's so hard to be like I don't know. Like it's such a hard subject to be able to like rationalize, right? like I told you, like I always try to rationalize to the best scenario, right? So it's like in my brain, it's like, yeah, he did something horrible, but it's like, I guess the best way to put it is like he killed 3 people. At least he didn't kill 5.
Yeah.
Like it's still bad, but it's like it could have been worse, you know. And it's like, holy shit. Um, but after that, he eventually Orion proceeded to ask this autistic man out to be his girlfriend. After a while, they broke up. They just stopped talking. I couldn't find anything on uh like their final conversations or whatever. Um, but after that, they proceeded to, along with another person, which it was Mana something, was their person. They attempted to make a robot, a robot like an AI bot,
Okay. Okay.
that would procedurally generate CP on a regular basis. Um, rather than them having to go to an AI and have to give the AI instructions to
Do
produce this.
Do you think you? No, I can't talk about that. Hold on.
I mean, I'm open for any kind of discussion.
I
Man.
can't talk about it on here. Do you think that the that somebody makes um
If you don't want to say it, just say CP. That's probably the best
no, I mean
way to address it.
a child silicone doll? Do you think it's gotten that far?
Okay, so this is weird. I've actually had this debate with somebody.
I thought you were about to say something else.
No. I don't think it's ever been made yet. So me and this guy, who I won't name, because, well, I'd say it's respectful, but it's also just like, I don't want to put his name out there because, like, I don't think he is one. I just think he tries to rationalize it to where,
Seems like it.
yeah, you know. So we had this debate on whether it's more ethical to provide something like that to a legitimate pedophile. That way they don't hurt anybody.
I don't know.
And I said, I don't think that's the right way to go about it because in the end,
They're
what
gonna
if
want more.
this isn't enough? Yeah, exactly. They're gonna want the real thing. So, and he said that like he understands that, but in the chance that
But you already said it. You said, but that's the thing.
in the chance that it provides less cases, would it be better? And I was like, I guess in that case it would be, but there's also still the chance of somebody getting this and them.
It's like the level's more heavier on this end. I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but you're wrong.
Yes, exactly. Like it wasn't like I personally, I don't think he is a pedophile. I highly doubt it. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. You know, that granted, I guess a lot of them don't seem like that kind of guy until they are. But this is just going off my judge of character for him. I would be severely shocked if he was. I'd say there's quite a few people I've met in my life where it's like if they turned out to be one, I'd be like, that makes sense.
That's
You
that.
know?
Yep.
But like, so I don't know. I don't think there's one that's ever been made. Dan Harmon.
Dan Harmon?
Dan Harmon.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
No.
One of the co-creators of Rick and Morty and one of the creators of my favorite show, Community. One of my favorite shows, Community. Apparently, there's a video out there of him having a fleshlight
I heard about that.
and a baby doll and him fucking the fleshlight. And everyone's like, oh, haha, you know, it's a joke, but it's like, what the fuck?
Maybe you
It's
shouldn't
like, that's,
put it in a baby doll.
yeah, you know, like,
Like, I'm serious.
I don't give a fuck if you fuck a fleshlight. You know, that's whatever. Something in that situation had to keep you aroused for you to even do that, right? And I don't know if he was watching porn while doing it or what it was, but
Dude, I've
something
done some
something in that
clicking.
situation.
I've done some clicking, dude.
Yeah.
Clicking just gets deeper and deeper. And I'm kind of getting off subject, but this just tells you how crazy the internet is. Dude, I accidentally kept on clicking and I got in a fart fantasy. And I was like 14. I think I told you this story. I was like 14 years old. And dude, I was like, dude, I'm young, hung, full of cum. I'm ready to go, dude. I'm just like, I'm experimenting with myself.
Yeah.
And I remember I found this like porn star. I was obsessed with her. Scarlet Payne, dude. I was all about her. And one night I was surfing the web and I came across fart fantasies with Scarlet Payne. I'm like, I'm gonna check it out. So this literally happened. I clicked and I'm watching, and dude, she starts farting, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Like no pun intended, you gotta be shitting me. And then, dude, she was trying to be so hot. She was just trying to be so sexy, just fucking just shitting herself. And I'm like, okay, I gotta stop this. I gotta go get my dad. That's the first thing. I gotta go get my dad. I gotta go tell my brother. I brought him in. I'm like a 14 years old showing my dad and brother a fart fantasy video.
That's so funny.
And it's like, man, dude, I got ruined.
Yeah.
I got fucking ruined. You know why? Dude. Because I moved on to the next. I said, I'm cool with this bitch. I'm not dealing with this. She's tooting up a storm and people are getting off to it.
Yeah, dude. But it's like something in that situation had to keep his brain going, right? So it's like, is he a pedophile? I don't know. But is it definitely questionable? For fucking sure.
It's always on the back of my mind.
Yep. So after all these leaks came out, Orion alluded to committing suicide in their Discord server once the info has reached their family. And then weeks went by without hearing from them. Nothing came out. After all these leaks happened, another person was thrown into the fold. A trans porn star was thrown into this fold. The porn star goes by the stage name Jean Hollywood. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. And they allegedly had connections to Orion. They had messaged each other back and forth on Twitter, talking about a person called Bad Bell. And Bad Bell's whole internet place is dedicated to EPI. Like that's their whole thing. And they were talking back and forth, and Orion was like, "Oh, you know, you're one of the people who fucked up my brain and yada yada yada." And Gene was like, "Oh yeah, he's like, I forget how it was worded, but essentially it was like, yeah, and I'm sure I'm doing it to other kids as well. They're all 18, you know, all my fans are 18. Put 18 in quotes. in the text.
Yeah.
And after these messages were leaked, they were also sending EPI videos back and forth to each other, where one literally just says CP flashing over and over again.
Mm.
So after these messages were leaked, I don't know how recent it was, but anyways, Turkey Tom reached out to Gene in for the video to get like just something, anything. Like, do you want to defend yourself? Pretty much. And Gene actually responded. Crazy enough. Where they claimed they only talked to Orion once, and was in their personal server for like a week. And then once they figured out what kind of people was in that server, that's when they backed out. They said that they were under the assumption it was all fantasy. Like it was all just like a role play kind of thing, rather than actual pedophiles. Which I'm just gonna say this right now. If you're role playing, right, about it, it's a fantasy, right? It's fantasy. It's not real, but there's something in your brain that makes that desirable.
No, after this show, I want to tell you some stuff.
All right. So it's like it's crazy, right? So it's like one, it's you're saying it's a fantasy, but it's clearly something you're attracted to. So what are the chances of this fantasy becoming more than a fantasy? You know,
Turning into a reality, like real
yeah,
quick.
exactly. So I don't know if they're still active in the porn industry. I don't know what they're doing with their life.
Well, I got a
But
dude, this is a crazy story. No, I'm not gonna say that. Mine.
yeah. Like I don't know if they're still active or whatever, but like definitely need to get at least a psychic evaluation. At
Immediately.
least,
But if you do, if you're not,
you know?
if you understand it's bad, and
Why
this is the question where I want to talk to people like this, not to understand their story, because I can give two fucks about your story. I want to understand why, like what's going on, what is. It's like getting inside of a murderer's head.
Yeah, what in your brain is making you
what got
this
you
way?
what got you to this point?
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing about like other people's fantasies and stuff. Like what got you to this point? It's like with me with haunting, like what got me to this point?
Yeah. Like it's really fucked up, like to say the least.
Yeah.
Where was I was going to make a point. What was the point I was going to make? It's gone now. But to wrap this up and give the little final part before we enter, the social media, blah blah blah, go follow us, all that bullshit. The final piece of the puzzle for this was eventually Orion broke his silence on his Discord server. And remember what I said about him trying to use his identity as a defense mechanism? He claims that they were taking a step away from social media, and tried to claim that it was right-wing teenage boys who doxed and hacked his account for being gay and weird, and took DM conversations out of context that was during an age play ERP sessions, which ERP stands for erotic roleplay. A lot of people on the internet who are lonely do this, where they'll just like text people and be like, I'm stroking my wiener.
Hey,
I
yo,
see
what
you
the
with
fuck?
I see you standing naked, blah blah blah. And then like a person will respond, I'm wet.
Oh my god.
You know.
You just said I'm stroking my wiener.
And claimed that he would never hurt a child. I left out this part, but I do want to bring it up. So remember when I said there's no physical proof of him ever assaulting anybody?
Yeah.
He told the mana guy that like they were bouncing back and forth, and they were doing their thing, whatever you want to call it. And I guess he told the mana guy that he assaulted his niece.
Oh god.
And then months later, while they were having one of their sessions again, was like, oh no, I just lied about that. It was just like a fantasy thing. And the dude was like, well, now you ruined my session. Like I just killed everything. Like now that I know that's fake. Also the mana guy apparently him and Orion and Mana apparently tried to take a step back from all the CP stuff and had a relapse to where they were scrounging the internet for pictures and complaining about how hard it is now to get these pictures. And they were essentially searching for pennies for stuff like that.
Oh boy, I got a lot of shit to tell you.
He claimed that he would never hurt a child, and those conversations were strictly about Lolly and Shota, and were complete fantasies, and said that he'll be stepping away from the Discord server, removing himself as admin, and giving the server to somebody else, with still all the stuff in there. There's stuff that I skipped over. I'm just going to preface that right now. There are details that I skipped over because one, we want to keep this succinct and short. But two, it's just too much, man.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's just too much.
Well, I'm kind of happy we get it out of the way now, so we don't have to let's just get it out of the way. Let's say what we have to say and then say it. Which I didn't really say much on this episode, but there's a lot of the stuff that I want to say. I can't really say.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. This one I'm glad we probably got the roughest one out of the way.
So what actually happened to Orion? Did he he still
we don't know.
That's crazy, dude.
People reported him to police officers. Multiple people reported him, and he never got arrested. He's never been arrested. He deleted his Discord, so we don't know what's going on there. Probably more than anything, the most likely chance is he's just under a different name now. Just coasting by until he gets comfortable enough to where he can
that's
start
why
this cycle all over again.
Like that what's his name on YouTube that he goes out and like exposes them?
I know Vitali does that stuff.
Vitali, love it. Love every moment of what they do to these people. What's the biggest one? Chris Hansen,
yep.
Chris Hansen, fucking love those shows. I think some of their shows were rigged and fake for the most part, because some of it was kind of like obvious. Maybe they're stupid. But it just, I think it's like different shows to show you on how these people are. They are hidden very, very, very well. To the point where they're just normal people. They could be an owner of a business or be a bum on the street. It can be anybody, just not us two. It's not us two. No,
Not
no,
us
no,
two.
no, 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 it's not.
Funny,
Nope.
funny thing, because like when you said it could be a shop owner, have you ever seen iRobot?
Yeah.
So the very first episode of iRobot is he's in this coffee shop, right?
All right. Oh, you're
And
talking about the show. I didn't see the show.
you didn't see the show?
No, I thought you were talking about the Will Smith movie.
I don't know if it's iRobot or I Am Robot or no, it's Mr. Robot. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, I've never seen that.
So in the very first episode of the show, he's in this coffee shop, and he's just you don't think anything of it at first. He's just on his computer, and then he's like I can't remember if he asked to speak to the owner or if the owner comes out and he's like, hey, just so you know, I know everything. He's like, I've seen what you've sent through your work internet. He's like, terabytes of it. He's like, and the dude's like, well, I never did anything with it. He's like, I don't care whether you did anything with it. He's like, I got the cops coming right now. You're done.
Yeah, that's it. You're done.
And he's like, frankly, I don't give a fuck what you get your rocks off to. The fact of the matter is that you're doing this shit. And that like he got arrested, blah blah blah. But yeah, dude, it's as simple as it could be your fucking local coffee shop owner.
It can be
the
your
dude you
dad.
work with. It could be your dad.
It could be oh god, dude. Oh my god.
It could literally be anybody you know.
I remember anybody knows what LimeWire is, where we illegally downloaded music and movies. And dude, I wasn't even trying to search it. I was just literally looking up movies and stuff. I downloaded a movie. I couldn't remember the movie, and everybody's ran into this problem and shit. When I downloaded this movie, it was just a picture. I didn't know the JPEG files. I didn't know how all that worked or anything when I was younger. Dude, the picture that it showed me, man, I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like I was so scared that I seen what I seen. I'm like, dude, this is just not fucking fair. But with that being said, I got a lot of stuff to tell you.
Yeah.
So if anybody is going through this, go out, and if you're the victim and you don't even realize it, go get help immediately, because they will take you away from that situation. Go to your local authorities and fucking get it done. And if you're afraid, go do it anyways, because once that person is gone, locked up, you will probably never see them again. And if you do, better fucking cock your fucking gun and start shooting. There's no second chance. There should be no first fucking chance.
If you're the one making the victims,
if you're the one making the victims, there's
a special place for you.
There's a very special place for you, and I hope the way things end is in the most terrible way as possible. 100%.
Yep.
I think that is the most harmful thing that you can do to a human being, and I think that you deserve every last bit of pain that is going to be coming to you. So you think it's bad now, but you fucking wait.
Yep.
Because you're gonna find somebody that's gonna be like, I don't give a shit.
Yes, sir.
I do not care.
Well, it's like not to extend this longer than it should be, but there's a story about this guy who his daughter was assaulted, and then his daughter told him, and he's like, okay, he left the house. He went and beat the ever living shit out of this guy and accidentally killed him. And in his brain, he's like, oh, I'm fucked. Like, I'm just gonna go to jail now. So he proceeded to go on a killing spree, killing every single assaulter he could find before he went to jail. Now, do I think he did the right thing by taking justice into his own hands? I'm not the fucking one to say. That's not for me to decide. That's the court to decide. But do I understand why? Absolutely.
I think, and this is just me. I think that he should be praised.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
And I think somebody for being like a hero in a way. Yeah, I don't think no life sentence, but murder is murder. So I mean, I get that. That is, I mean, that's in the Bible. That's in everything. Like murder is murder. Like that's a sin. That is illegal and it's very frowned upon. But when in certain situations like that, good for you for having enough balls to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that wraps this one up.
Yeah, that was a very touchy one. I didn't talk much because I can't I can't talk because I would say certain things that I shouldn't or anything.
I think this one was like the hardest one to get through.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It's probably, like you said earlier, best we got it out of the way now. But if you're still listening, thank you. Very cool. Sorry you had to put up with this. But I guess this just shows you that, like, hey, maybe monitor your kids more on the internet.
Watch
or
them.
Just be more cautious on the internet yourself.
And
not because you want to keep yourself safe because you're a pedophile, but because there are people like that out there. And if you get in the wrong circles, you could fall into some bad shit.
Sex trafficking, dude.
Yep.
What was that movie that came out that was like
dude, I know what you're talking
Song
about.
of Silence.
Yeah.
I think it's what it's called, but that was about sex trafficking. Sound of Silence.
Is it Sound? I think that's a Simon and Garfunkel song. 90% positive. Maybe it is Song of Silence. I
don't know. I know, but yeah, dude, I watched that movie with our church and shit. I think I would have seen it from a different perspective if I wasn't a dad. But since I am a father, you when it happens, like the way I took it, when it happens, there was signs of regret in like, man, I shouldn't have done this, or you blame it on yourself. In situations like that, I can't speak for anybody because I don't want to ever go through it, and I'd hope to God on everything that I don't have to go through that. But all you're doing is, like in that movie, you're trying to do what's great for your child. In the opening scene, it was this lady picking up children for like a play or a pageant or a movie or something to do auditions. Well, they do the audition and then they just never come out of the room. And then, hours go by and then all of a sudden he looks in the room and it's empty. So it's like, when it comes to like sex trafficking and stuff, like, do be aware of your surroundings. You have to. And if you get too comfortable where you're like, well, he's fine, that's when it's not fine. It's the same thing with like if you're operating or running a heavy equipment or something. Once you're too comfortable and you're just like you're not like, for instance, a motorcycle. Once you're not afraid of that thing in between your legs, that's an issue. Yep. You're doing 180 and you're not afraid. That's a problem. You're going to die. Like that's simple as that. You're going to lose your life. It's the same thing with your children, dude. Your children is your life. You brought them in this world. It is your job to protect them until you die. Yep. Give them your fucking all. Give them your attention and stuff. But man, that right there is like the Roblox thing kind of threw me for a loop because like my kids play Roblox and like I didn't think of that. I would never even thought about that.
It's just as simple as that. Like it's super fucked. But yeah, man, I hope people who stuck through it enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too much. But that's probably the worst of it for this season. In the meantime, people, please be safe on the internet. This is kind of why I wanted to do this season, is to show that a lot of people are just comfortable on the internet. When you can be comfortable, you need to be cautious.
It's gotta be super cautious. Cautious.
Yeah,
Because
like
it could happen to anyone and everybody. And the biggest platform in the world right now is TikTok.
Yep.
Do not film your kids. Even, I mean, if you want to, but be safe about it. Like Dalton said earlier, watch what angles you throw in. When it comes to like infants, I don't think infants need to be on camera. Period. No. I think that right there needs to be a sacred thing where you keep it to yourself until that child's old enough where you can actually control him or her. And so you can be like, all right, so this is how I want things to be done.
Yeah, I think
protect your little ones, protect your people, watch what they're fucking doing on the internet. And if you do not want them on the internet, or if you want them to get off the internet, then take it the fuck away. Like, take it away. If it hurts their feelings, good luck. You should not even give a shit. That should be on the back of your mind. That should be the first thing that's on your mind. Is when that moment is brought to your attention, and then it's like, hey, like, yeah, you need to get your kid off the internet. Take it away. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Take that shit away. Fuck that, dude. I'm cool. No, yep. I'm cool. But with that being said, the next episode will hopefully dive deep on that. I'd say here in a few, like maybe like a week or two, we'll bust it out and get that out and stuff.
Sounds good.
We'll build it. This one was very oblivious to me because it was all Dalton that put it together. So shout out to him, man. He definitely shut me the fuck up.
Yeah, this one was I remember telling Arthur not to research anything into it because like
I didn't do shit.
I knew it was bad, right? Like I remember hearing this story and it's like, oh, that's like fucked up. Like I think we could talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like this is much before even Arthur came to me about this, but when he asked me to sub in for Andrew, I was like, oh, we can talk about this. Like it's interesting-ish, I guess.
I want to say it's interesting. I think the
it's like a train wreck.
The perspective about it, the reality about it is just wild. It's just wild that people are, to use the word again, oblivious about everything.
Yes, and I was like, oh, I'll just bring this up to Arthur. And I knew it was going to be a rough episode because of the stuff that we're going to touch on. I didn't remember it being this bad.
Yeah.
Like, but
now
80%
of this episode, I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, like it was. This one was a bad one, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, people need to hear it. People need to hear the gray subject. As bad as sometimes we have to get in that gray subject, because if you don't, then it's like, dude, this is the world we live in, and that's not even the tip of it. That's a molecule compared to what's really going on in this world right now. We're not even.
Oh yeah, dude. This is just one person.
And if we would want to build a podcast about the internet, the episodes in the season would be infinite. The amount of sickness that's on the internet, the amount of money that's on the internet, just in general, dude. I can sit in this chair for the rest of my life and still not scrolling through the internet. That's the crazy thing. We built this. This is our fault. And when I say us, I mean us humans. This is our fault. We created this.
This is on us, dude.
This is what is going to destroy the fucking planet, is the internet.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be incontrollable. The Matrix. But with that being said, guys, we're at an hour and 44 minutes long. Dalton, do you have anything to say before we get off this nasty ass subject?
Just be safe, dude. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Of like, people might hear me and think like, oh, I'm 23. What the fuck do I know? This shit's terrifying. This shit's genuinely scary. There's two things that actually scare me as a person. Three things. One is the ocean. Ocean terrifies me. Two is predatory market schemes brought on by companies that we don't even realize that is happening. And it's just programmed into our brain. Three is just the internet as a whole. And if by the end of this season, there's at least one person who's like, oh, I understand now. Like, I get it. I've done my job. You know? It's not the I'm right. It's that I want people to be more in reality than they are in their phones. I want people to be humans, not robots. That's my whole synopsis for this season. Unplug. Get off the internet. It's a scary place. It's too much.
Quit listening to us.
Yes, absolutely. If you stop listening to this podcast because you're like, oh, maybe I should just enjoy my drive to work. Cool. That's probably the best result we could have.
Dude, craziest thing is, you know, you guys want to get a hold of somebody, just mail them something.
Yeah.
Now, if it's an immediate thing, there's always 1 to 3 day fucking posting stuff. One day, just get off the internet. Put your phone down. You're missing your children's life. You're missing your life.
Spend time with your family.
Just spend time with them. It's okay. It's gonna be there. I promise. It's going to be there. Like it's going to happen. Those 00101011101010111. It's always going to be there.
Yep.
Okay. The picture's already painted.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, man.
Okay.
I hope people. I don't want to say enjoyed. I don't even know.
I'm happy that if you guys made it this long, thank you so much for tuning in. Even though if the stories or the comments or the opinions that we posted or said or whatever offended you, that's not our intentions. This podcast is as real as it's gonna get. This is an opinion-based podcast where we talk about anything and everything as touchy as we can and as clean as we can, as much as much as possible.
I think we did a good job with this.
I think we were very safe with what we said. I had to keep my mouth shut a few times because, like I said, 80% of the time I was just completely pissed off because it's the truth. Yeah. Next episode, no idea what it's about. Dalton knows what it's about, so we're going to be talking about that after we get off the show. Guys, stay tuned for hopefully new merch. I'm going to post it on our Instagram page, and if you guys go follow us on the 13th Podcast show, or it's just the 13th Podcast on thing, just look us up on the internet. It's our logo. It's literally right there in the middle. That's us, but it's green. We plan on bringing a lot of that's a knife. Different stories to the 13th Podcast, and I know you guys are always about the 13th Podcast is paranormal and aliens. What are you guys talking about? The 13th. It's an unlucky number. There's reasons behind that, the conspiracies behind it, the superstitions behind it. It's just a nasty, disgusting number, which is my birthday number, so I have to fucking deal with it. We are the 13th Podcast. We talk about spooky stuff, and reality's pretty spooky, and I love spooky, so I'm gonna keep talking about it, even if it's nasty. You guys need to hear it. What you guys need to hear about the I think at least 1 or 2 episodes from now, we need to talk about the Toy Box Killer. Just listen. That's all we got to do.
Yep.
Just take a listen, man. And the Toy Box Killer is a sick individual, and I think he's dead. I'm glad he's dead. But what he did was fucked. But anyways, with that being said, that is the end of the episode of episode 2, season 3. And hopefully this episode is on Spotify and all the other major platforms. So you can go check us out. Make sure you guys go check us out on Instagram. We are on only Instagram right now, and I am going to create a TikTok. We are also on TikTok. Sorry, we are also on TikTok, and I'm going to create an X account where we are going to post, and I'm going to give access to you so you can post shit, but the most gruesome, nastiest videos we can find that I wouldn't say about like murder or something. I won't even say about gruesome videos. I'll just say just the reality of some stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just as real as it is going to get on Twitter, X. But other than that, guys, that's Dalton, and I am Arthur.
Bye-bye.
And guys, keep telling yourself that you are enough, and keep telling yourself to be spooky. And it's okay to be spooky, but that is it. See you guys.